Hi guys, this is Simpa, and I've been recently working on this stock image. I'll just show you where it started from. It's from here, inverted it, did some minor work with skin tone and anatomy. You can see that I've gone in and fixed her nose and changed her mouth a little bit, fixed her neck, gone ahead and make her lips a little bit bigger, brighten that background so we get some separation, and I really, for one long time, wanted to make a solarized image, and so I went ahead and I made a curves adjustment to this that has basically it's what solarizing is. You bring up the shadow slider and you bring down somewhere in the midtones and you bring up the highlight slider, and that's basically how solarizing works. It's a photographic effect. And then I've gone in here and done some regular beauty retouching to just smooth out transitions and wrinkles and all that. I'll zoom in so you guys can see some of that stuff. So this is after and before. And just wanted to preface the video by showing you guys that so you know what I'm sort of going for as this solarized look. And because solarizing is a photographic effect based on darkroom processes, I sort of want to have a film grain effect on this as well. And normally when you get film grain, I'm just going to go ahead and flatten this so you guys don't have to worry about the rest of these layers. Normally when we're working with film grains and whatnot, I see a lot of retouchers. They'll just make a new layer, they'll fill it with medium gray, and then they'll add noise to that layer, and then they'll put it on some kind of blend mode. And yeah, sure you got a lot of noise on the image now, but it doesn't look like film grain, because you have to understand how film grain actually works, like on actual film. The way it works is that on lighter portions here, remember we're working with a negative basically. On a negative it's reversed from the positive. This would be the positive. So on the negative there would be a lot of black substrate basically on the film, and that would prevent light from getting through, which is what makes it light on the actual print. So here there would be not as much material. The film would be very translucent, and here would be very opaque. And what the point of that is that you can see that here where it's darker there wouldn't be as much material, there'd be less clumping. Now if we think about this in terms of pixels, you think clumping would be more pixels put together. Whereas with this noise layer that I just made, they're just sort of uniform all over the place. There's no deviation, it's the same look all the way around. In the highlights, there's the same grain as in the shadows. So it doesn't look realistic. What we need is clumping of pixels based on the actual luminance value. So to do that, what we're going to do is actually use the dissolve blend mode. And a lot of people never use this at all, ever. Even I barely use it. But what we're going to do is we're going to make a new layer, and we're going to fill it with black. We're going to make a layer on top of that, and we're going to fill it with white. Turn both of those off, and what I'm going to do here is just go to my channels. Because this is a black and white image already, there's no difference in color data on any of these channels. So I'm just going to hit Command, if you're on a PC, you hit Control, and then click one of these channels, and this is going to make my active selection the highlights of the image. Go back to the RGB channel, turn back the black layer, turn back the white layer, and I'm just going to apply a mask to the white layer. I'm going to set the blend mode to dissolve. And now what you can see, it looks kind of crappy, but you can see what we got is, in our shadows now, we've got a higher density of pixels than we have in our highlights. And that's really what we were going for in the first place when we were looking for film grain. So this tool actually helps us accomplish our goal. So now that we've got an actual good noise representation, I'm going to go ahead and flatten the white layer and the black layer together. Now this looks a little bit, you don't need to see actual pixels to know that there's going to be noise there. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to blur these a little bit. And this is sort of where you can choose your edge size or grain size, what have you. I'm going to go ahead and choose 0.5. I think that transitions nicely. And now you can see you've got a very grainy image. The grain is not uniform. It's much more sparse in the highlights, and it transitions nicely into the shadows here, and it is completely random. Now we get to the point of blending this. I mean, we could just turn this down opacity-wise to 20, but even doing that in the shadows, I don't like the fact that I have little highlights in the shadows. That doesn't look natural. You wouldn't see that in a normal image that was processed in a darkroom. So that blending isn't going to work. Even if we did soft light as a blend mode, what happens is you're going to see that it just doubled the contrast in your image, because you had one image which was just noise and another image which was normal, and you just applied a blend mode which just doubles contrast. So to rectify that, what we're going to do is we're going to double click this layer. This is the noise layer. And we're going to alt click these sliders here. And what these sliders do is they change how the image blends. And by alt clicking, I'm going to tell it in the shadows, I don't want this layer applied. I'm going to do the same thing in the highlights. So now what I've got is a noise layer that is blended along just the midtones. The highlights does not have this information, and the shadows does not have this information. It's just the midtones of the image. And I'm going to go ahead and turn this layer on and off just so you guys can see what the effect looked like before and after. And you can see it's pretty accurate for how film would actually look. I hope you guys enjoyed this technique.